After years of waiting for the perfect moment to bring the show back, ladies and gentlemen, the League of Legends Rotation Roundup is back! I'm your host as always, Domos900. Oh wait, no, I'm not going under that alias anymore. It is simply the most explosive man on the planet, the Exploder, right here, giving you your weekly dose of what's happening inside the world of League of Legends, as well as a lowdown on this week's free champion rotation. If you're brand new to the show, welcome. If you're an old school player that remembers back in the years of 2011 when this show was running and you loved it back then, I hope you love it again now. We're back, we're bigger and better than ever, and I'm gonna give you the stuff. So, as I used to say back in the day, let's get on with it. Now let's have a quick look at the free champion rotation for this week. Of course, you can play these champions as much or as little as you want. Some you may have, some you may not have. But here is a quick lowdown before we get into the full lowdown in a little bit. Starting off, we have Aurelion Sol, the Starforger. We have Braum, the Heart of a Freljord. Corki, the Daring Bombardier. Gragas, the Rabble Rouser. Karthus, the Death Singer. Nautilus, the Titan of the Depths. I love Nautilus, just as a personal thing. Nocturne, the Eternal Nightmare. Sivir, the Battle Mistress. Swain, the Master Tactician. And of course, because gems are truly outrageous, Taric, the Shield of Valoran. Later on in the show, we'll be having a full lowdown of these characters, but now that that's done, what else have we got to talk about this week? So who out there's enjoying Worlds? I'm really enjoying Worlds. This tournament has been crazy so far, and if you've been missing out on any of the group stages, you can always go back, check those matches out because they are pretty damn baller. But I'm not going to be talking about the group stages in this video today. Oh no, I may be bringing that up at a later point, because today we're actually going to be talking about what's happening with the prize pool. It's been an explosive group stage scenario so far in San Francisco, but the thing is, things have been switched up this year for Worlds. As a reminder, 25% of every Championship Z and Championship Ward sale that is made is going straight to the World Prize Pool. And get this, we have about 3 weeks at this point until the final showdown at the Staples Center in Los Angeles. Fans have thrown their support behind the teams and players and almost doubled the initial prize pool. Sales of Championship Z and Ward skins have contributed to, get this, just over 2 million, around 2.015 million to be exact, to the overall prize pool, which is pretty damn insane. You guys are awesome, and so's this skin. So, what has that done to this prize pool? Effectively, this prize pool is huge. We're talking $4,145,000 up for grabs, but bear in mind this year has also changed how the teams will be winning this prize pool of cash, and I'll quickly go over this in case you guys weren't too sure how they are doing it this year. So, the first prize team of this year's Worlds will go home with 40% of that prize pool. Second place will get 15%, third and fourth will get 7.5% each, 5th to 8th place will get 4% each, 9th to 12th place gets 2.25% each, and 13th to 16th place gives 1.25% each. Of course, this is the total for the prize pool at this moment in time of me recording this video. You guys can still contribute to the prize pool by spending the cash on Championship Z and the Championship Ward, and help boost this prize pool possibly up to 5 million before the huge final. Can it get that high? I'm very certain it can. Will it? We'll just have to wait and find out. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are going straight in to the champion lowdown. This is when we give you an idea as to the good and the bad of these specific champions, and letting you know what their skill sets are, as well as what you can look out for if you are against these guys in the field of battle. Now let's start things off with Aurelian Sol, the Star Forger. This guy is pretty darn crazy, especially if you're playing against him in ARAM. ARAM in particular, he can be quite nuts, but if you're battling him inside Summoner's Rift, you can be seeing this guy in the mid lane predominantly because of his skill set. His skill set is based around using range to his advantage. Bearing in mind that his passive Center of the Universe combined with Celestial Expansion allows him to basically capitalize on a large area in a very short space of time. But do keep in mind that if you are battling against an Aurelian Sol, and if he is using Celestial Expansion to expand and detract his passive, then if it is at max range, that is basically the max range of Star Surge. So you can basically judge that Aurelian Sol is using Celestial Expansion to get that Star Surge out, to capitalize on a stun, potentially to make you use a summoner spell, or even better, to get that kill upon you, so be very careful. Also, on top of all of this, Comet of Legend will mean that he will get back into his lane as soon as humanly possible, or get into a fight completely out of nowhere. Do not take your time when you know Aurelian Sol is still alive. He will come out of nowhere, he will zap in, he will Star Surge, and he will show you the definition of making you see stars. Believe that. Next we have Braum, the Heart of a Freyord, by far one of the greatest tanks this game has to offer, and if you've never played as Braum, definitely give him a shot, especially if you are a tanky kind of guy, especially like me. His skill set is all about being the man with the plan, as he just shunts and powers through anything and everything you have available to you. Get ready, because Braum is not going to sit down for anything, especially since his skill set is all about keeping him and the teammates behind him alive as he takes the brunt of all that damage, and you're just there waiting for your abilities to come off cooldown. The best way to get rid of Braum is pretty darn simple. You know that little ignite spell that you have that gets rid of all of his healing properties? Maybe just shove that on top of him and watch him burn. But do not concentrate on Braum in a big game team fight. Braum will just soap all that damage in as the rest of his team capitalizes on your ADC or your mid lane or even your top lane to make sure they're out of the equation. Before you know it, you're stuck between a Braum and a hard place. Be very careful. Now normally I have a pick of a week, and this is definitely my one because quite frankly I love him to pieces. It's Corki, the Daring Bombardier. If you don't love Corki, then what the hell are you doing? Fall in love with a Mustachio Furioso. That is this guy. I love his skill set to absolute pieces. Now the trick with Corki is that he's mostly going to build straight towards using Sheen, as Sheen gives him a very good piece of utility with his skill sets, especially since it can activate straight off of using Phosphorus Bomb, get an auto attack in, straight after using Valkyrie, get an auto attack in, punch in a Gatling gun, guess what, Sheen triggers, get another attack in. But the big trick with Corki is if he has Missile Barrage unlocked for him. He can just shove out a missile at any time, even if he's just using it as a poke tactic, and he'll poke you with a Missile Barrage, poke you with an auto attack, guess what, that's a Sheen proc, you're hit yet again. You're seeing what I'm coming across with here. Corki is one of the Sheen kings. If you know that he has a Sheen on him, or one of the items that can build off of it, like Trinity Force or Frozen Gauntlet, you know this guy is going to keep punching at you, and he will never stop. If he has good support behind him, Corki can just be a very formidable foe, and you are not getting out of that bush alive, especially if this guy's flying around on Earthback. Next up we have the fat man everyone wants to have a drink with. It's Gragas, the Rabble Rouser. I love a bit of Gragas just because he understands what it really means by happy hour. Oh yeah. Now Gragas is a pretty hefty tank in his own right, a lot of health and a large mana pool to help him shove out all of his abilities, especially since Barrel Roll is an amazing poking tool whenever he is doing the laning phase. Be very careful though whenever he activates his Drunken Rage, because that means he could be going in for some big battle potential. Especially if he's going to come at you body slam you to slow you down, shove a couple of barrels into your face, and maybe even throw his ultimate, which can change the entire tide of a team fight, especially if he's late to that fight and sees everyone crowding around his main damage dealers. He can throw the explosive cast, watch it explode, everyone gets burst backwards, and the team fight can basically start all over again. Think of it as a reset button, only that your health doesn't get reset, because you're gonna get hit pretty darn hard by the fat guy that loves beer. Next we have Karthus the Death Singer, classic old school champ, and if you don't like Karthus, then that's completely fair in all honesty, because Karthus is a little bit tough. But if you can master Karthus' moveset, he can become one of the most devastating mages to have in the mid lane. Is he squishy? Yes he is. But can he build damage? Oh yeah he is. He's up there for me along with Veigar as one of those mages where you have to build him very well very early on, and you need to concentrate on the creep. If you don't get your creep game on point, Karthus is kinda gonna suck. But if you are fantastic as Karthus, and if you're getting those kills, and if you can stay alive for very long periods of time, here's a challenge for you. Slap a Medjay's onto Karthus and watch as you build up those stacks and shoot off Requiem to take down all those champions, while all you're doing is sitting back inside your summoner pool, just chilling out, waiting for that cash prize money to roll in, ready to buy that Rabadon's death cap, because I know you want it. Karthus wants it as well. Have some fun with that challenge, and if you complete that challenge, let me know in the comments below. Next we have a guy I love to get naughty with. It's Nautilus, the Titan of the Depths. Fantastic tank, fantastic capabilities when it comes to ganking, getting in there on your opponent. Nautilus can just do it. Be very careful of Nautilus's dredge line. This thing does not just hit champions. He can use this on any surface to get there faster. It's a way of Nautilus to both get in on fights as well as get out of fights. On top of that, when he activates Riptide in combination with Death Charge, if you're alone in the woods and Nautilus's teammates are chasing you down, the chances that Riptide and Death Charge may just get you so CC'd up that you are soon going to be down in the depths of hell. Nautilus is one tank you do not want to mess with. And in all honesty, if he builds in a particular way, he can also be quite devastating in the damage department in and of itself. So in overall terms, like Braum, if you're stuck between a Nautilus and a Braum, holy hell, you might be dead. Or make sure you have Ghost or Flash ready, cause you're gonna need it. Nocturne, the Eternal Nightmare, he is one of my favourite legacy champs, because he was my first champ when I started getting into the jungle game. His jungle game is kinda tough nowadays, but he is still very capable in that jungle, especially because he has huge damage potential when he gets on you. The main ability to look out for is Unspeakable Horror. If he keeps that on top of you for the length of time needed, you will be struck by fear, you'll be running around out of control, not being able to do anything, and he will be there striking you down with his Umbra Blades, with Duskbringer, with Paranoia, just smacking you down. As well as that, he also has the Shroud of Darkness, which you can effectively use as an anti-CC tool. If he's against someone like Ryze, for example, or Morgana that has very pinpoint tactic style CC, just activate Shroud of Darkness, boom, you've been hit by their big CC device and you're now immune to it. You can carry on Duskbringer, Paranoia, Unspeakable Horror, do what you need to do. You're not staying alive for much longer. Pretty much, if you underestimate Nocturne when he's in the jungle, you're gonna die. Be very careful, because what's that coming over hill? It's a monster. It's a monster. But if we're talking old school, we're going old school with Sivir, the Battle Mistress. I love her to pieces. A very easy, very straightforward ADC to easily get behind. Boomerang Blade doing some fantastic precision poke damage to champions, but can also help you get some of those creeps in the starting phases down in bot lane. Ricochet also happens with that, and also has some very good teamfight potential as it just bounces from one champion to another, potentially picking off those odd little champions that are on the tiniest bits of health down the back, because an odd Ricochet can just end them off. But again, with Sivir, she has Spell Shield. Spell Shield is the big no, you're not hitting me with that spell that could screw me over in bot lane. And what does it do? It gives her the mana back to help her bring out more boomerang blades to keep smacking you in the face. So here's a trick when it comes to Sivir. If you're a support character like Thresh, like Blitzcrank, you've got a way to basically grab Sivir and take her down for your ADC, or make her use one of her summoner spells early on. The trick is, you want to make her use her spell shield and put that thing on cooldown before you really take her down, because then she has no way of counteracting your CC, and she'll be there with her boomerang blade wondering why she can't throw it and it's not coming home. Then we have Swain. He's a tactician, he loves crows, and he is a kind of a tough mage again to really play as. Now I have to put him up there with Karthus, but whilst Karthus demands for your creep game is on point, Swain is quite alright at that. He can be very flexible depending on the situation, but you still gotta be very careful, because at any point in time he can turn into the Raven with Ravenous Flock. Ravenous Flock will immediately change him into Omega mode, as he can just walk around, have those ravens just come at you, bite at your face, make you have a very terrible day. On top of that, using Decrepify, Never Move, and Torment in order to hunker you down and make sure that you are not getting away from Swain that darn easily. His early game is very hard if you are playing him for the first time, but if you can do well, and if you can get just a couple of really good ganks in with maybe your top or your jungle champ in order to get a couple of kills on your level, when it comes to the mid and late game, Swain can be a very formidable force, especially since he can also gather quite a big pool of health and mana, something to keep in mind. And last but not least, we love him. He is truly outrageous. Taric, the Shield of Valoran, and look at how gorgeous he is with his long waving locks and his jewelry that just shines in the night. I'm okay, I'm sorry, I'm a big fan of Gem of the Holograms, okay? It was a great show back in the day. If you've never seen it, do me a favor, friggin' watch it again. Taric cannot be misjudged. This guy may look fabulous and he may look like a pushover, but he can bring down the pain, and he will, especially if you make fun of how his gems do shine in the night, as I was saying. He's a great support champion, being able to buff up his allies with Bastion, giving them bonus armor, but the big challenge you've got to be careful of is Cosmic Radiance. It pulses that lovely, beautiful cosmic energy onto nearby ally champions, and after a delay makes them invulnerable for a duration. So this is basically Taric's mini version of Zhonya's Hourglass that he could just pump out at any given moment in time. If his ADC is in trouble, he may just Cosmic Radiance and suddenly you can't kill the ADC and they're getting all the kills. What's this? It's Taric. He's shiny, he's beautiful, and he's laying down that hammer. And what a gorgeous hammer it is. That, ladies and gentlemen, was the Champion Lowdown for this week, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. But here's the big thing: if you have any tips and tricks that you think people can have out there in the world of League of Legends to assist them with the champions this week, go and give them a hand. Let them know in the comments section below, and let them know how they can perfect their craft with the champions of this week. With all that said and done, guys, that is the League of Legends rotation roundup for this week. The show is back. I'm hoping to bring it back properly every single week. I'm gonna love doing this again. Thank you guys for the support back in the day and right now. I'm going to do my best to give you some great show lovingness. Of course, I have been out of the loop for a while, and if that does show in this video, I do apologize. But I'm doing a very hard job getting back into the game of League of Legends, loving it all over again, and giving you guys, quite frankly, one of the best shows that I have really enjoyed doing here on YouTube. Hope you guys enjoy. Share this out to the League of Legends Nation. If you want to become a part of my personal team, you can by hitting that subscribe button and giving me a like. It helps out a lot. Why don't you share this with your other League of Legends friends? And I will see you guys next time for another edition of the League of Legends Rotation Roundup. Stay explosive, and I'll see you next time.